I don't even know where to start. There's breaking news all over the place. There's breaking news on...
I know you're John.
That fella who scores loads of goals, a bus.
The ones that puts in the goal, yeah. Scored loads against us.
So David Ornstein has said Liverpool make approach to sign Alexander Isak from Newcastle United. LFC say no formal bid and well aware of Newcastle's stance sure. But communicated interest in deal for 25-year-old Sweden international worth in the region of £120 million. Oh, baby.
And money. It's the kind of move that Liverpool traditionally, you felt as Liverpool traditionally wouldn't do, and then they did Wirtz, and it's the kind of move that once they did Wirtz, you then think that, well, actually that means Isak's not available this summer and they won't do them. But then whenever you hear something like this come out, like, I believe that they're fucking bang up for it. He was a player at the beginning of the summer that if you'd asked any fan who Liverpool want and who the fans have most wanted him because of all the reasons we just mentioned, none less that he puts it in the fucking goal. But given the fact that they didn't sign anyone last year, given the fact that you'd imagine there's going to be some outs that, I know we'll talk about Diaz in a little bit there, that there's going to be big money coming in for some of Liverpool's players and a couple of Liverpool's fringe players as well. And so you can see a way in which they're able to make this happen both financially and for PSR. In terms of like just sheer excitement, like Jesus Christ, like if they manage to do this, then Liverpool have signed the two most exciting available footballers on the market and two of the best in the world at what they do in terms of one of the best 10s in the world and one of the best number 9s in the world. And you know what it tells me, John? That they want to fucking win it all next season. And so do I. So onwards out.
Yeah, it's an unbelievable move, isn't it, Keogh? Especially on the back of everything that Craig just said there, what they've sort of spent already. But it shows that they're backing themselves to get some money in for some of these players, but it also shows they're backing the manager. It's a real, sign to me that they're really happy with everything that is in place at the moment, and they just think if we can just add to it with a bit more star quality, like everything's there for the Reds.
Mate, if we sign Isak, it's going to get silly. It really is. But the way the business has been done so far, we've all been buzzing. But this feels really clever. I think they're basically saying to Newcastle here, you can have 120 million for him now and use that money to go and get Ekatike. Or you can say no, and we'll go and sign him with D-Web. And then they'll sign Isak next summer. So they're in a real position in Newcastle because it's like 60 million quid a lot of money. And also they've identified their replacement. If he moves on elsewhere and next year Isak goes, he may really struggle to find the next striker for themselves. So I think there's real legs in it, to be honest. I mean, I don't think Liverpool would be briefing journals. I don't think Liverpool would be putting stories out if Isak had said he wants to stay in Newcastle. So I think the player wants it. I think Liverpool want it. We definitely want it. So get it done.
There's been legs in it though, hasn't there, for a while? Like...
It's moved a lot, this story this morning. So the Athletic did a transfer roundup this morning where Isak was a little bit mentioned, and then now all he's gone all in on all this. So something's happened today, hasn't it? There has been this big development.
So there's been a few things. So a few weeks ago there was a piece by some of the Newcastle journalists. It was Mark Douglas. I can't remember who exactly it was. It was basically there was just this line in it, and I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was around the PSR and about the teams that were circling around Isak, and the teams that he mentioned were Liverpool, Arsenal and Barca. Now Arsenal maybe, but Arsenal have been linked to Gyökeres and Sesko all summer, and that tells you that those are the footballers that they're after and that they think they can get. No one else has been linked to Isak. Now I know he mentions Barcelona there. They don't have the fucking money for Isak. That's not happening. I just felt it was a funny sort of line to put in at the end of what was essentially an article about how Newcastle don't want to sell him. And then you have I think it was Keith Downey at Sky Sports yesterday, again in the Northeast, saying yeah, potentially. Saying that Newcastle want to bring in Ekatike and that they want him to play up top with Isak. And I was looking at this and thinking, like, Eddie Howe's not going 4-4-2 next season, and Newcastle aren't spending 70-80 million on a striker that plays in Isak's position.
The team at the very top struggle to spend 70-80 million pounds for a player that sits on the bench.
But also they've just signed Alanga as well, so what are they doing to Alanga? They playing him in left midfield and they're going this like 4-4-5-2.
5 or 6 wingers to fit into 2 left and right midfield positions. It just doesn't work.
And so I started to think, like, is that a Tony Gordon sort of move? Are they gonna ship him out and maybe he's the one that's moving? But like, then this all happens today and you're thinking, like, it just feels like something's happened. Feels like, as you said, something's both happened today in terms of what the journalists have found out, but also just over the past few weeks. I think there's been movement, and maybe it's just as simple as Isak saying to Newcastle, "Look, I want to move now. Like, you know, I've given you 2 good seasons. We've won a trophy together. I want the next step."
I hope you're enjoying this free show at the moment. Loads of excellent, exciting stuff on the Anfield app. If you want to be part of the whole thing, you can download the Anfield app and go from there. Or you can subscribe via the YouTube membership as well for video-only content and other bits and pieces. We love doing these shows. We love that you watch them. So come, be part of the journey with us.